Welcome back to Radio Taiwan International. You're listening to Geek Out. What's your cup of tea, tickles your fancy, or floats your boat? Join us as we share passions from people in Taiwan and around the world. I'm your host, Michelle Chang, and today in the studio we have...
Sylvie.
Hey. So, what are we geeking out about today?
Everything and nothing at the same time.
Right? That's the best kind of geek out,
Yeah,
I feel.
exactly. I guess if we have to put it in a couple of words, I would say wellness, self-care, spirituality at the same time. All of it with Eastern Asian tinge of it. So I think that'll be interesting.
That's great. I mean, these topics can be super broad.
Yeah, that's true.
So I do want to just focus on your specific journey. Introduce yourself. Like what do you do?
Okay.
Where are you from? What do you do?
So, I'm from this broad universe on this little planet called Earth right now. But maybe before I was on Mars, I don't know. But more seriously, I'm actually from France, from Paris.
If you couldn't tell by the accent.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I hope you can't, because I'm really trying my best to hide it.
No, it's such a romantic accent.
Is it? Mm-hmm. I can't hear it. So, I mean, I can hear it when my friends talk in French. Like, you know, they have like very strong accent.
Oh, right.
But mine is slightly...
well, I mean,
a little bit.
There's only a little bit. But it is so nice to hear, the French accent. Yes.
And then pretty much lived my whole life there. I studied in Japan and UK, lived in Italy. Wow. And then a company sent me to Taiwan.
Okay.
I was working in marketing for a long time in big companies like Louis Vuitton or like skincare companies, French skincare company.
Right.
And it was like a pharmaceutical
So
company.
fancy.
I never told you that.
No, I didn't know this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sylvie and I have hung out, but really to do nerdy stuff.
Yeah, mostly. So this is your day of actually knowing about me today.
Wow, I didn't know that you worked in, high-end skincare and all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then a French pharmaceutical company sent me here in Taiwan to take care of one of their brands, which is Aven Yayang. I don't know, like the thermal...
I do know it. Yes,
yeah,
the spray,
exactly.
the cooling spray.
Yeah, and then I have tons of stuff too.
Currently don't have one in my bag, but sometimes I do.
Yeah, and that was my brand.
Yeah, nice.
So
nice. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think I had this cultural clash with work, even though I'm like Asian, Asian background, and then I think I just didn't want to keep going in that area, in that field, even though I stayed in that field for a while.
How long were you in it?
Maybe 6 or 7,
Yeah,
because
quite a while.
because I did a business school, and then after I just worked even during the business school in different companies. So,
Well, that's impressive. So you did a total career change. You decided this just not it for you.
Exactly. So I wanted to, at the time, I wanted to quit my job. At the same time, to deal with my, how do you say that, with the difficulties at the job, I started a project called Humans of Taiwan in Taiwan.
This I know about, yes, but yeah.
And I met so many people. That was awesome. I really loved it. And I think it had its own little success, I guess, a little bit for a while.
It did.
Yeah, and then I was supposed to publish a book, and then there was so much pressure that I just couldn't do it. I'm just really going for the full ride, transparent, all failures and all.
Oh, but dude, failures are what create character in people.
It's true.
Yes,
I agree with that.
I mean, without failures, who are we really?
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but you want to know something really funny? Shirley, did Chris ever tell you this?
Shirley.
Shirley Lynn, who she's retired now, but she used to be my supervisor here
Okay.
at Radio Taiwan International, interviewed Chris way back when he was doing Humans of Taiwan.
What? Wait a second.
Way back when. She pulled up the pictures. Chris looks super different.
What? She did Humans of Taiwan? Way back. When was it?
Super long ago, super duper long ago. So when Chris was interviewing for a position here, Shirley saw them and was like, they look familiar. I think I've met them before. And that kind of went from there.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. little world.
Yeah, right? Small world.
Yeah,
Exactly.
really, really.
So you're in Taiwan.
Exactly. And I'm doing that, and I'm just like, oh my God, I want to stay here because I just met my spouse.
Yes.
And then after that, like I tried many things with my spouse, actually my partner. We did like, how do you call that? A webcomic.
Webcomic. I remember this as well. It was good.
Exactly. Webcomic, events, videos. And then after that, like I tried to go back to writing. And I finally published a book in Switzerland. And after that, I just couldn't write anymore. And I was just like, what the hell is going on with my life? Like, I'm trying everything and nothing is working.
A lot of us spin around and we're trying to find a direction. It's kind of like the spinning needle on a compass. We don't know where we're going for a while.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. There was that.
Yeah.
Because before, like, doing business school, I actually wanted to be a writer. And I thought, like, okay, but my parents thought, like, it was too hard for me. Just said, nope, we're going to do business school. And I was a good girl. So I went to business school.
Okay.
And that's fine. I'm not harboring any like regret or anything like that. That's really fine now. Like I'm beyond that.
Considering I graduated in fine arts, it's sometimes you just wind up working in a completely unrelated field. So whatever your degree is, I don't think that's the important part. What I think all college really teaches people is to overcome challenges and meet deadlines and become human.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So really, I met a lot of people, great people, and they're all of that, like, you know. So, and I got to study abroad in Japan and UK, thanks to the business school. So just no regrets. and then I got to get to Taiwan actually because of everything I did.
Exactly.
So
yes,
that's
no regrets.
Exactly, zero. And then after that, I was teaching French at the European school, and then like I remember like one of my colleagues, she was putting some like relaxing music in her, because we were like sharing a classroom, and she was putting some relaxing music for the kids. And I heard it, and I was like, oh, that's a very nice music. What is it? And then she said, oh, this is what we use for meditation and all of that. And I was like, oh, I really suck at meditating. I really hate meditation. And she was like, oh, do you want to try a knife massage? And I was like, what's the link between all of that? And then she said we could meditate and then you can try a knife massage. And this is where it all started. The second phase or third phase of my life, I would say.
Well, okay. Just to clarify what a knife massage is.
So it's no worries. Knife massages. You have like butcher's knives. I'm just kidding. You have something that looks like butcher's knives.
They do really resemble like meat cleavers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But they are not sharp.
No, they're not sharp. Yeah. They're super dull. And then so I went to the studio in Shiling, and then when we did meditation, which was very tough for me. And then like I did a knife massage, and then at the time I didn't know it was with those knives. I thought it was just a way of calling it, because sometimes you have like
that's true. It's just a weird name for something. But then you saw them.
No, I didn't see them. So I was like under the blanket, because you're not naked. You just keep your clothes, and then they put a blanket on top of you and on top of your head. Oh. And I was just laughing, saying, "Oh, a knife massage," as if you were going to use knives. And then the person who was Greg, actually.
Oh, Greg, nice.
Who did the knife massage didn't say anything at all. He didn't say anything, and he just said, "Okay, I'll start." And then at the end of the massage, he showed me, "Yeah, this is what I use." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
They're actually knives.
Exactly.
No, they're not really knives, guys. If you haven't tried it, you should just go look at it. But it's pretty fascinating. They use these two tools that do look like meat cleavers, but they're not cutting you.
No. And actually, I was super relaxed. Really, really. I fell asleep, and then like it was my first time trying it, and it was a journey. It was the beginning of a journey.
Nice.
Toward, I would say, just kind of like cleaning a little bit, like what's kind of not wrong, but what I don't need in my life, I would say.
Marie Kondoing your life.
Exactly. I like that. I really like that.
Only keeping what brings you joy.
Yeah. Actually, no.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, this is the very specific thing with this everything they're doing and we're doing here.
Okay.
It's really not about just being happy all the time. It's about understanding when you're not happy. I guess the concept of all of it is when you're not happy, then why, and what's the roots of it. And then sometimes you need to be unhappy and you need to go through darker phases, and then it's really accepting that. So it's really not about rejecting it. Like, So it's
Oh, I love this. It's a lot more about self-exploration.
yeah, definitely.
And that's true. We can't avoid challenges. We have to go through them. So
Yeah.
it's about exploring why this is and how we are accepting it.
And I don't know if you've noticed that in your life, but often when you avoid a challenge, it comes back in a new form.
It does.
So often the best, I would say, maybe first step of the session is like trying to understand why it happens and not to avoid it, because it always comes back one way or another.
Right.
Yeah.
So you went through this long journey, careers changes, many failures as we all experience. You found a spouse, you're in Taiwan, and now you are a practitioner of
so heart healing, or we call it 分多金疗愈, which is with stones, coral stones, and also XianTian Tarot, which is like tarot cards. But not really like the
not Western tarot.
Yeah,
like
not Western
for
tarot.
example, you have the Hermit or the Hanged Man. Not that as you can picture it, guys.
Yeah. So the cards we have are like they represent different hexagram, different energies of the universe.
Oh.
And then we use like brushes to kind of connect, and then the information, you just empty your mind. You'll be very surprised if you really are able to empty your mind. You're going to be surprised at how much you actually really understand and know. And then this is what you need to do when we use our tools, like even when you get a knife massage or any like a stone massage, you have to empty your mind, and then like things come to you, and then like you can like give suggestions to people.
Yeah.
But this is the two tools I'm using, and also I'm taking care of like the expansion of what we're our practice in Europe right now. So.
Yeah, we were just talking about you're going to be taking like multiple business trips to Ireland and to Italy.
And
Sounds
France.
fun. Well, you're back to traveling again.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, okay. So very recently, I think it was last month before, something like that. Just recently, I went and got an I-Ching.
Yeah,
do we call it a
I-Ching.
reading?
Yeah, you can say I-Ching reading.
I-Ching
Or
reading,
consultation.
right, consultation with Greg. Shout out to Greg, you're awesome. But okay, to be honest, I was actually kind of skeptical about it because having just watched, just I don't know, short YouTube clips about like of somebody doing it, I didn't think that it. Okay, to be very honest, with all divination, is that the word? Divination techniques. I've always been kind of skeptical with Western tarot, which I myself know how to read, and then I don't know, like astrology or whatnot. I've always thought that they are useful not for actually telling the future or telling you what you should do, but rather opening that window or door in your mind because you already know what you should be doing. And those are simply tools to help you realize that, to kind of like think through a process and then figure it out. So I went to this consultation with Greg, and with the issues that my dice company has been having, phoenixdice.com, where you can get all of your adventuring needs. And it was actually really eye-opening. He asked me a bunch of questions, and then we worked through the problems that I was having, and he made several suggestions that I hadn't thought of. And this is coming from Greg, who has no experience in running a dice company, so
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, so this is really like the tools that we have when we become practitioners. It's not about thinking, really. It's truly about like you empty as much as you can, and then you just allow things to connect to you, and then somehow there's this huge intuition or huge connection to the energy, however you want to name it, because everybody has different terms and different ways to see things. But and then it allows you to say stuff that or to suggest things, because it's really not about like it's not about the future. It's not about like, oh, in 1 year you're gonna be a millionaire or stuff like that. No, it's really not. It's really about what is like, the true core problem, the roots of your problem, and then how can we help with the roots? Because once you heal the roots, then your tree can your tree can like grow and then like flourish.
Yeah.
But if you just put Band-Aid all the time, then it's good temporarily, but
but you're not solving the source problems, right?
Exactly. So it's really about the source problem, especially with I-Ching. With tarot, it's a little bit more like the source problem of the heart.
Okay, so if someone were to get a consultation, what does it look like? So you're sitting down one-on-one with someone like you, a practitioner.
Yeah.
And for example, so you said tarot?
Yeah.
So what does that consultation look like for somebody who's interested?
So first, like we'll ask them to like fill in some informations, like their name and why. So we have like reasons for each informations actually, because each informations carries something. Like for example, for us, for the practice, I would say your lineage is very important. So it carries like, like we say that your last name carries maybe like 10% of your luck. But which is, in retrospective, when you think about it, sometimes it's pretty true. It's pretty depending on the countries you are, like some people.
Ethnicity is, it is 2023, so we're not limited to our ethnicity. Our own history is something that should be very important to us.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. And then, so your name, your parents' names, because a family and ancestors and all of that, your age, which is like a different phase you are in, and then your phone number, because you always have it. And then there's like this sort of, how do you say that? Like you carry it and you use it all the time. So sometimes it can influence you one way or another. And then your address, which is more related to the feng shui of maybe like, in your place, maybe something is like disturbing you. Maybe the energy is not really good or something like that. I know when I say that, it sounds very like, ooh.
Like feng shui, like superstition. Or
yeah, exactly. But in the end,
it is true.
Yeah, and then it's okay if people don't think it's true, that's fine. But in the end, like what comes out often is that so the person will explain a little bit what's going on in their life and what's the problem, and they're gonna pull 3 cards. And then often is that people, what they need to hear is mostly, how do you say that? It depends like on the question, of course, but it's really like, it's about the suggestions that we can give. And then like usually we have like a plan, and then finding out a little bit the root of the problem. And then after that, often we'll have like, we'll maybe like offer like a code of wisdom, which is something we call 智库, which is like a code that helps them to either meditate or to understand better what's going on in their life.
Right.
And then they can use it every day in their house.
It's about talking through the energies that are affecting their life, and perhaps they themselves are putting out.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out how better to orient yourself for the future, more or less, generally speaking.
There's a huge part of that, and definitely helping you to get out of the box.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, that's a big one. A lot of us fall into just unhealthy ruts. Well, sometimes there are aspects that are healthy, but none of us, nobody really loves change that much.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Not easy at all.
No.
So I do think that my consultation, especially, kind of, it's assistance to change your problem, or your situation that has a problem, so that you can better solve the challenge.
For sure. And there's this maybe second principle I can talk about, which is like 70%, 30%, which is 70% is like up in your hand, pretty much everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And then the 30%, we can call it like energetic, or like something you cannot control, stuff like that. And this is where we come in and then try to help you, like, clear the window and then see more beyond. And give like deeper suggestions. Yeah.
I love this. So, okay. So if somebody were to want to come see you or Greg or anyone else at your company, where can they access this information?
Oh, we have like a website called everbrightness.com.
Everbrightness.com.
Okay. Or our Instagram, everbrightness everbrightness.intl international.
Oh, international. INTL.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool, cool.
On Instagram or Facebook, and then if they want me personally,
Yes, of course. Everyone wants you personally.
they can find me on. And you know what? It's so funny, but I don't remember my.
You don't remember your Instagram?
I think it's like Sylvie.secretgarden.
Oh, okay.
On Instagram or YouTube or something like that.
Okay. So how do you spell your name?
Sylvie.
Yeah, because I kept messing it up in the first bit that I knew
Yeah,
you.
it's true. It's true.
But go visit everbrightness.com or .intl on Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. And really, no matter what, like, there's always a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a way.
I think that's the message. It's like whatever challenges, hurdles, obstacles you're currently facing in your life, in whatever aspect of your life, there is always a way
for sure
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like some people, they need to first maybe heal and then like, get to the next phase.
Oh yeah.
And some people they're ready to get to the next phase. So don't compare. I said some stuff today, but maybe, maybe you are in the phase of you need to heal first.
Yeah.
So
But yes, absolutely. There's always a way through. There's always something that you can tackle, something that you can heal from, and never be afraid to ask for help.
for sure.
That's a big one.
Definitely.
Thanks for geeking out with me, Sylvie.
Yay, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thanks listeners for tuning in to Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang, and we'll be back next Thursday with another episode of Geek Out.